Afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Hard Talk this afternoon on Vidaswim TV. And today, the subject of discourse is feminism in marriage, feminism in the society in general, and how it affects marriage. And no doubt, this is actually a war. There's a cold war going on right now. Whenever you raise the word feminism, whether in the office, in the home, anywhere, there tends to be a loggerhead between both the men and the female on this subject. So, on this subject of discussion right now, we are going to be helping us to understand what is true feminism in Africa. Is this our culture? Is it an adopted culture? Is this healthy for us? So, this afternoon, as you listen, we have live on the show today Mrs. Martins, and co-hosting with me is my brother Mockingbird. So we'll be dissecting the subject of feminism. How healthy is it in our marriage? All right, so get a friend, call your families, tell them Mrs. Martins is here, tell them we're live, and then jot down so many lessons you're going to learn this afternoon. And by the grace of God, we're able to correct so many notions after this discussion. Mrs. Martins, glad to have you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're a seasoned marriage counselor, and then you've been long time in marriage already, and then you've encountered so many women in this line, and I know this afternoon you're ready to share a lot with us. Good afternoon, ma'am. Glad to have you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, our viewers and our listeners. It's nice being here, and I'm very sure we're going to have a beautiful time together.
Absolutely. So, Mockingbird, what's going on in your mind? Tell me what's going on in your mind.
No, it's been nice, when it comes to issue that borders to some, touchy issues like feminism. It needs to be, discussed and expatiated in a way that everybody that listens to it needs to get it clearly. And it's a very, very pertinent issue that not just bothering on the society in Nigeria, but in the world at large.
Absolutely.
So I think more light need to be shed on it for listeners out there to know what's happening and how to go about it.
Okay. So, ma, let's bring it into this discussion. Ma, what is your take on feminism?
Very dicey question, but let me not start by saying by defining myself as a feminist or not until we get down to
Absolutely.
the program.
Beautiful.
All right. You need to understand what feminism is first before you ask whether I'm one or not. Who is a feminist? Of course, the movement itself, the movement of feminism itself, is a movement that is meant to advocate for equality among sexes, empowerment of women, and advocating for women's rights. That is what the whole concept of feminism should be. All right, asking if I'm a feminist or not, yes. Chimamanda Adichie actually says that all of us should be feminists.
Absolutely.
So I am a proud feminist.
Okay.
But the problem we have with the word feminism is actually the problem of variations and approach. When I say variations and approach, I mean that there are different variations to feminism. We have the Western feminism, we have the African feminism, and then when I'm asked if I'm a feminist, I said, yes, I'm an African Christian feminist. That's who I am. This also has its own variation. So, I am a feminist. Now, when I talk about variations, one of the greatest problems we have in Africa is our importation of Western culture, whole and entire.
Absolutely.
Without paying allegiance to our culture, without understanding that there is an African twist to whatever we bring from there, because we are Africans. Let me stop it there until we continue.
Okay, beautiful. There's something you said that got my attention. You said the variations and the approach to this. So, asking you now, what do you think is what do you think is the approach that we Africans are bringing? Because I believe from your tone now, you want to center on the African culture and how it affects us. So if we go by it, what is it that the feminists in quotes is actually they are doing that is in that's of the real Africanism in terms of African culture that will say feminism has eroded it off?
All right. Truth be told, the word feminism somehow connotes um, this bad bloods kind of, against men.
Yes.
Unfortunately, this is not what feminism is in Africa. The Western feminist believes that, oh, as a woman, you have total right to your body, considering their culture. So a woman has right to abort a baby at any time because it's legally backed up. In Africa, we don't have such. So there is actually a limitation to the right you have to your body, especially in the confines of marriage. So I want to use the word again, the allegiance we pay to African families is also not found in the Western culture. So sometimes when they talk about the roles, the feminine roles of a woman within the confines of the family, it somehow negates what we as African women have been groomed into or taught. And I wouldn't say that what we do in Africa is wrong. So you see, that's why I talk about variation. Now over there, we talk about rights for employment and all that. Of course, over here in Africa, we have quite a lot of family support in an extended family system, which we don't find over there. So these are the things that bring some of the issues we have, or the different the variations we have in their own kind of feminism and ours. So whosoever is going to practice feminism here must understand that we are Africans and we have those variations.
Okay.
So, like I said, Chimamanda Adichie is a wife. Chimamanda Adichie is an African who has lived in the soils of the West, yet has not taken away the fact that she's an African. So in her marriage, she still remains in her marriage and still proposes that every single person should be a feminist. So what exactly should feminism be promoting? Feminism is wrongly presented by those who do not understand the concept as that word that has come to destroy our family.
Absolutely.
A lot of women who live in ignorance of what this word who a feminist should actually be, end up fighting their husbands, fighting their fathers, fighting men generally, and making it look like the war is a war declared against men. That's not what it is.
Okay, man. Thank you so much, man, for what you said. Okay, but I want to get your mind. What is going through your mind hearing Miss Martin's talk?
Listening to her, she really hits a lot of points. That, but to an extent, I think we may differ in little aspect when it comes to feminism.
Okay.
Because from her point, she narrows feminism to maybe as far as she's concerned, she's an African, she's a wife, and she how did she put it again? Biblical, or that's the way she put it.
Yes,
Christian, thank you,
Yes.
Christian feminist and stuff like that. But to me, I think it will sound like a little bit of contradiction, because except maybe we want to look at the definition of feminism in different aspects entirely.
And I was going to come into that before you.
Yes. If we want to look at feminism in its actual sense, it has to do with women's rights, which is proper, but in terms of abuse of it, that is what I'm not comfortable with, because I believe the word feminism, the very largest thing, has been bastardized. Feminism, I don't think there is feminism in family, as a wife or as a family. I don't believe there is feminism in a family. I only believe there is feminism in the society at large. Feminism in the workplace, feminism in the market, feminism in social gathering. I can agree with that, because when we talk about feminism in that aspect, I believe when it comes to feminism in the workplace, for example, it has to do with who is qualified, who has the capacity. Then we don't look at if he's a man, if he's a woman. If there is a job placement, men and women should apply, and as far as a woman is competent, the woman should be given a post or a position, and as far as she could deliver, she should be paid accordingly.
So you're a feminist.
So you're a feminist.
Yes, I'm a feminist. In workplace.
You see?
In workplace.
Okay.
In workplace.
So we're
I
making the
said so.
Okay.
I said so like 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
In the workplace.
Okay.
Great.
In the shopping mall.
Okay.
In the business centers.
Okay.
Social gatherings. Yes, I agree. But in the family,
Okay.
I don't believe there should be anything like feminism.
Okay.
That's where we may differ a little, because I believe in the family, the man is the head, whether any woman likes it or not. As long as you could humble yourself to marry a man, to say this man is my husband, it's automatically your head. Whether the man is as short as a dwarf or is as tall as Goliath, once you could say this man is my husband, it's automatically your head.
Okay. Finish up.
And though the fact that it's your head doesn't mean you are subject to abuse. Doesn't mean the man is now. Doesn't mean you are now a rag. Doesn't mean the man will now maltreat or mistreat you, as the case may be. But automatically, there is no rights there again. It's now automatically your head. That is where some people are getting it wrong, because they believe, okay, you are my husband, then in this house both of us are equal. They bring that mentality of feminism that they took to the office, they still bring it home. That's the mentality they took to their place of work and place of social gathering, they bring it home. You know, begin to drag everything. If I should do this, you should be doing that. If I do this today, you do it tomorrow morning. If I do it in the afternoon, you do it in the evening, and stuff like that. Equality. When you bring equality into the family in the name of feminism, that's where I get it.
Okay. I like your angle you're coming from. I think I'm going to get this Martin to it.
Oh my
Now,
God.
feminism in definition is the advocacy for women's
rights.
equality,
Yes. Women's rights.
right? Women's rights in whatever you're discussing, right? Now, this brings to perception of the feminists tend to bring it under the disguise of liberalism.
Okay.
Liberality, where an equality in all sectors. Now, if that is the drive, the two questions I'm going to ask. One, are women truly, were they in danger? Were they in bondage actually before that they will be demanding for liberality? Then two, going by what you just said, Ms. Martin, I know you were following two questions in one. So, going by what you just said, that tends to lead to misandry. Because the two feminists hearing you now will tend to see that they will actually have this dislike, total contempt for men hearing you in this conversation.
Yeah.
Don't you think these two are going contradictory with your conversation here?
If I may come in now, we have come to an agreement that everyone can be a feminist.
Yeah.
Feminism should not be limited to the workplace or limited to the office or limited to, as long as you agree that women should be given equal rights with men, in whether it's in the social or political or economic environment, then what you are invariably saying is that the woman has the right to do as much as she can do. I have a book that will be released soon. The book is titled Woman Arise. And in that book, I extensively extolled the strength of the woman that is being underutilized. Now, what my African Christian version of feminism promotes in marriage, because that's the only place we seem to differ. In the creation story, being a Christian, coming from the Christian angle, God in his own understanding and wisdom decided that he was not going to take whatever he's going to take to make the woman from the man's head. He didn't take it from the man's feet to show that, oh, you can trample on this woman, or the head, oh, young woman, you have now become the boss. The Bible records that in Genesis chapter 1 that God took the rib by the side of the man. That has a very serious implication for those who call ourselves feminists. It shows that even in marriage, which is the greatest institution on earth, God wants both of you to see yourselves as completion of each other. Not somebody to be trampled upon, and not somebody to boss over someone. So he came from the side. Now, being a Christian, if I refer to Ephesians chapter 5, most times what you see people read is from verse 22, where they say woman, submit to your husband. But verse 21 says, submit to each other. That submitting to each other means we're not fighting. Like I said, this is not a fight over inferiority or superiority.
Absolutely.
God has not made the man superior to the woman, neither has he made the woman inferior to the man. The Bible has not suggested that in any way. We've had judges, we had women who led the war, even in ancient times in Israel. So God has not in any way relegated the woman. But I'm saying that when you read the scriptures, you see that it is important for women to know that there are roles assigned by God to the men and to the women. That gender roles is one of the things Western feminism is fighting. Western feminism is seriously fighting that. But as Africans, we know, and as Christians, yes, the man is the head of the house because there has to be hierarchy. The man is the head of the house. The greatest thing the man expects from marriage is respect. The man is the head of the house. But can I also remind us that quite a lot of women are doing so much, even in their marriages, much more when it comes to bringing in finances, taking care of the home, handling all those, some of those things that men think they do that has made them the almighty in the house. A lot of women still do that and they get trashed. I had a Facebook post on my wall today, and I was talking about a woman who does all those things, take care of bills, pay house rent, participate in paying school fees, and the man has no single atom of respect for her. But when it's the other way around, then it's the woman who is very stupid and who is very disrespectful and all. So God has created balance in his world. Anybody who thinks that feminism has to do with, oh, pack up, like you see a lot of all these young girls, oh, baby mamas, nobody wants to get married anymore. It's unfortunate. You don't even understand the system. Now, when you grow old, you go know what you do yourself.
Very true.
God has a beautiful plan for everyone. If you say, oh, at every single minute, divorce, divorce, divorce. One told me, can you imagine my husband go, where? This is a man that works 14 hours to keep food on you people's table. And you are home because they relocated to a new place. You are home, taking care of the home. And then when the man comes back, trouble. And I try to find out what is the problem. He will eat and drop his plate for me to wash. What kind of stupidity is that? The man has been at work 14 hours. You have been at home. Young woman, you are an African, pick up the plates and wash because the man also has been working.
So, but I'm going to continue here. Now, in this passage, you created this. I love the scenario you created. So, let's suppose that it is the other way around, which the feminists will advocate for, right? We're saying equality in this case. Now, let's suppose that the table turns and it's the woman providing, championing all the activities in the home. Does that negate the rights of the husband in this way? That means now she should now take over because she's now championing the activity.
I understand where you're coming from, and that's why I keep saying our African roots must never be taken away from whatever manner or whatever understanding you have about feminism.
Beautiful.
But still, as a Christian feminist, I say that in the same scripture where I quoted, the Bible says, love your wife. Now, it didn't say love your wife like you want to love her. It said, as Christ loved his church and gave his life. Gave. So, if the woman is the one who is privileged to take care of all those things, young man, meet at a point with your wife because the needs that she's providing are family needs. It would be wrong to also say, our African culture has made it that the man should never watch plays. Who told you? Don't you eat food? Everyone eats. Everyone takes care of the home. The woman would have loved to be the one sitting at home and you taking care of everything. But now, because the table has turned and she has to do all those hard work, then on your part as a man, you should also rise up and help.
Okay, thank you. So let me get you now. From what she said, she's saying, you are coming from the point that feminism should be practiced in the workplace, not home. Couldn't that be sexism? Isn't that sexism?
It depends on how you look at it. When I say feminism being practiced in the workplace, I mean in terms of rights and capacity, and in terms of responsibility. an ability to deliver. Because
a woman who grows with that idea, right to deliver, and painting the picture Mrs. Martins gave us right now, right to deliver. In this same case, this woman delivers in the place of work,
Exactly.
brings it home, she delivers again.
Exactly.
yes, I will still
And the attitude,
I will
she
still
has already been, no, I'm coming. She's already been conditioned into that from the workplace. She's bringing it home. How do you tend to correct that notion?
I will still come back to that home issue.
Okay.
But let's just talk about let me say the workplace to start
Okay.
with.
Okay.
As far as the workplace is concerned, I believe it has to do with, like there are some organizations where you go to, probably many have changed that mentality. They will make you understand that, okay, women of doing social responsibility should be paid so amount of money. Why men doing similar responsibility, because he's a man, you should be paid so higher than the woman. I condemn that and I hate that.
But that exists in so many
Yes, it
workplaces.
exists.
Yeah.
When a man and a woman comes for the same job, they look at the man and the pay goes
Yes,
higher.
that is why I said if it comes to maybe calling me a feminist in the social world, in the political world, in the commercial
A
economic world,
feminist is a
I can agree.
feminist.
Okay.
But if you want to bring that feminism home,
A feminist is a feminist.
no. See, you
So
made a
because
point. She made a point,
What
which
does
I
she
agree
do?
with.
What does the woman do in the home that
That
makes
is
you
contradictory.
disagree?
Yes.
No. I
Bringing
think
sexism into it now.
she made a point that I think I can agree with, and I can even defend, and
Okay.
I can even support and promote.
Okay.
When it comes to women being subjected to the background, even when the woman is leading the frontiers, in the sense that there are, like she said, there are some instances where some men want to be odogu, in quotes. They want to be chairman, and you forget that if you want to be a chairman, you should be you should be
Yeah,
in the
forefront.
at the steering.
So when
You
he's
cannot be the driver. You cannot be the conductor
At the same
and be
time,
telling the
the
driver
driver.
what to do.
So in other words, if she is, you are saying now, when it turns, the table turns, that she is the one providing and doing everything, she should be the chairman or the chairwoman.
No, she should not be the chairman, but the man should respect himself and do the needful.
Exactly.
So when the woman has been conditioned to, because in the workplace now, women who work spend more time in the workplace with other women, discussion, right?
Okay.
And then they are, as like we said, we started the show, we said feminism are so eaten to the fiber of our families and society that in almost every 2-3 gatherings of women, this is a subject of discourse. Feminism. The ones who are broken out of marriage, maybe heartfelt marriage, want to poison the heart of the other who is doing so well in the family. And the woman comes down home with that mentality and everything scatters. So, if she has this perception that, yeah, I'm the provider, I'm championing it now, suppose the man is down. In other words, I should be the head.
Okay, that's a wrong perspective.
Okay.
It's a wrong perspective.
Then if you say it's the right is a wrong perspective,
Yeah.
then the misandries will hurt you.
No, let me tell you why it's the wrong perspective.
Okay.
And that's why I started by saying that the variations we have in feminism must be discussed. African women must understand that this is Africa. It's not everything that works in the Western world that works here. Of course, women might discuss challenges they have in their homes is age long. It's not something that just started. A lot of divorce used to happen before also, just that the social media had made it, so popular and everyone is like, okay, everything is going to be so easy now. Now, what I'm saying is that because of our African roots, that respect that is for the man should not be tampered with. Because the moment that respect is tampered with, you don't have a family anymore. And that's what is breaking down our marriages. If a man, maybe situations change, he was working, he was making money, and then suddenly something changes. While he was doing that, he was taking care of everyone, trying to carry everybody along. I do not think the woman will get to that point where she begins to boss the husband around and all that. But the mindset of the African man is what we are saying, that we also need to adjust. Oh, I'm the boss, I'm the man here. When the tides have turned, young man, put yourself in the position of that woman. If you were the one doing that, you still expect the woman to kneel down, welcome my husband, oh, you eat, what do you eat, how do you... We say show a little kindness and a little understanding that this woman also has gone out there and she does all these things that you would literally have done and expected her to roll on the floor thanking you. She's doing it now. We are not expecting you to do that, but we expect. Now, this is what makes women revolt. When they now do all those things and expect a little kindness, one woman told me, do you know how my husband wakes me up? He kicks me. I said, get off from there.
Wow.
Yes, we have a lot of wickedness. Now, feminism is not about demonizing any gender. That's not what it should, because men are important as much as women are. Anybody who pulls down a man, you are in trouble. But all we are saying is, young man, please remember that you need to understand that this woman who is doing all this also demands some respect.
Ms. Martins,
Yes.
I think the misogynist hearing you right now won't be very happy with you. You know why? Because you are indirectly trying to tell them, hey, you know, what the feminists are demanding is this. If the man likes to be treated 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to food, to breakfast, or to cook for him, they too deserve it too. Right? Since we're talking about advocates for equality, it shouldn't be morning all through the year, the woman doing it. And then the men say, no, they are the head of the family. It should be, that should be the status quo. Going by this conversation, what do you think should be the ways to correct this perception in terms of women say, no, this shouldn't be. I also want equal fair treatment. And that will break your ego as a man who wants it. Practice. Break your ego as a man who wants it. Do it there, but here, know the boundary, don't bring it here.
You see, if I may come in, this thing is simple. It's a commonsensical thing.
How commonsensical it is?
Take for example, a man provides for the home, and the woman takes care of the home. Something happens in the future. The man could not provide, and the woman could. Somehow, the case has become reversed, whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. Okay, now the woman goes out to go and hustle, probably to go and make a business or to go and work in a place. Mm-hmm. And the man is at home. You cannot just sit at home as a man and say, okay, to sweep the house is the woman's responsibility. To wash the plate is the woman's responsibility. To wash the children's clothes or to clean the house is the woman's responsibility. Your responsibility to sit down, cross your leg and begin to change television stations. From one news station to the other news station. From one sports station to the other sports station. Then the woman goes out to hustle and comes back by 5:36 and begins to clean the house, begin to wash the plate, begin to cook, begin to tidy the house. You are just there, crossing your leg, watching the. So that's why I say it's commonsensical thing. So when the man is not doing something and the woman is doing, it doesn't mean the woman should now begin to use derogatory words, because that is where issues comes in now. Because sometimes some men may be trying. I want to balance it now. I want to come from the angle of where some men are trying their best to do what they're supposed to do, but the woman just feels because she has taken charge, and now it is her turn to belittle the man or talk down the man. That is one instance. Problem will surely come up because the man will not like it. On the other instance, on the other hand, some men are not really doing their expectation. They are not doing their bidding. While the woman goes out, the woman comes back, the man will not be maltreating them, talking them down, using stupid words on them, and you think the woman will be comfortable. So that's why I think the balance should come in.
But hearing your undertone, I would say you are saying until it gets reversed, whereby is the woman doing this way, or if the tides changes, it should also change. But the feminists are not saying that to you. You're saying when it comes to the man providing, it's the man providing, the woman should be in total subjection to the man.
No, submission, not subjection.
Submission to the man. And when it's the other way around, the man should do the same. But that's not what the feminists are saying.
Exactly.
That's what they're saying. They are saying they are not waiting for you to get to that point. They are saying even in the now. So hearing you right now, they will see that's misandry.
Exactly. I was actually going to say something about that, because we don't make it look like the one who has the financial power should now be the one respected.
Exactly.
No, that's a very wrong thing to say.
No, actually, I didn't say because the woman is providing, the man should be respecting him. I didn't say so.
No,
I said because the woman is providing, meaning the man should come in to assist.
No, but what now happens when is the man providing? Remember, the typical African setting we have now, where, especially here in Lagos or in different cities, where the man is out there, the woman is out there. So it's not like there is any family per se. You come in now and the woman is just sitting home. The woman is also working, you know, building her career or building her business or whatever, the same way the man is. So we are saying that there should be mutual respect and understanding. See, for even feminists, I don't want to talk about Western feminists. I'm not a Western feminist because they are extremists as far as the word feminism is concerned. If I would put myself in there, I'm talking about fighting for the rights of the women who have no voice at all. Women who are not in any way considered as human beings. We have quite a lot of women like that.
Okay.
So that is where I find myself in as a feminist, because I give them the voice. Like I just told you about my book that will soon be released. I give them the voice. I tell you that you can stand up. You can do a lot. Now, when the woman is working, the man is working, because you are both out there on the field. Whoever comes in first, whoever is more available, who has a more flexible time frame with work should understand that this is a partnership. Marriage is a partnership.
You're talking about the balance.
Yes, marriage is a partnership. The Christian feminists understand that there should be balance in marriage. The African feminists, anybody you see who is an African that does not understand that in the marriage there should be balance, that woman is not a feminist. It's not an African feminist. It's a Western feminist, and unfortunately they cannot stay here.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Martins. I want to take this conversation a little bit off this line. And here's the question I have. The feminists think, they advocate that women should be takers, in the sense that they should only marry accomplished men. Saying any man who marries, or any woman who marries any man who marries without being ready, desecrate marriage. Now the question of the matter is, some of these women started from grass to grace, but won't allow those they mentor or friends to do the same, even when they see a promising future in such a man. They tend to discredit or poison the heart of, because we are talking about this in the society now, outside the marriage. The ones who have broken out or gotten off marriage now comes to say, okay, my job is to start mentoring women, and shortly they start bringing this stuff into them. So what do you think? Is this in terms of women being bitter woman trying to raise or change the narrative in this direction?
Okay, the good thing about life is that there is always a bad side and a good side to everything. Everything that exists, there will always be the polluted version and then the right version. We are counselors and we talk to a lot of women who go through all manner of hurts or pains or dissatisfaction in their marriages. We don't encourage them to raise their daughters being defiant to men. We don't encourage them to look down on their husband. I've been married for 23 years. This should be my 24th year. And I can boldly say that my husband will never ever say that I disrespect him. So if we understand that there are a lot of people out there who will want to pass on their negative vibes to other people, unfortunately, there will always be those group of people, and there will always be people who are tilted towards that. Okay, when we're talking about feminism again, are they not the same Western feminists that advocate for the rights to your human body? Like, oh, you want to be you feel like you are a boy, okay, you can go ahead and be a boy, even when you are made a girl. Oh, you don't have this feeling that you are a girl, you are a boy, you carry a feminine body and all that. In Africa, in our culture, it's not acceptable.
It's not embedded in our
culture. It's not, so that's why you see even those of them who are trying very hard to break out on that, they're still doing it, they're not really, because they don't have the support of the law. And even there was one I saw, no need to mention anybody's name, when he was visiting his father, I think when his father died. And what did he do? He should have gone there like the woman he professed to be. But he went back and shaved and removed it and wore his hand to respect culture, because we have culture. So any woman who teaches you that you don't have to get married, you don't have to respect your husband, is not an African feminist. we are advocates of the fact that the girl child demands the same attention in getting education, the same attention you give to your male child. I have a friend. This my friend. We've been friends for like 27 or 28 years. I knew her in my university days. There are like four girls born by their father. Their father calls them one after the other, the girls. He doesn't talk to the boys. The girls, he says, sit down. I'm going to train you in the university. Now listen, when you're done with your university education, only one thing you will do for me. You're not going to get married. Because I can't afford spending all my money on you and then you go to live with a man who does that. And the 4 girls he had, anyone who says, no, daddy, I won't do that, then you are a breakaway.
Wow.
Yes, it's happening here. So women like us, we always want to encourage such girls, even help them go to school, even against if we try to make the man, see reasons why you should raise and empower the girl child. Let me tell you, a lot of families, men, women, are living on the fruits of raising their girl children. So that's what we're advocating for. If anyone ever tells you that, because I'm a feminist, I'm going to tell you, don't get married to a man who is not made. Who told you there is anybody made? A man who is made today can become unmade tomorrow. So what happens? So it's all about having the right kind of mindset and understanding that feminism is not wrong in its entirety. I keep saying is the variation. So more women who promote gender equality should teach other younger women the right thing. The right thing is not defiance. The right thing is not trying to ride over the men and make them look foolish and make them look like anything a man can do, the woman can do. Yes, I believe anything. But of course, there are things we know men can do that women cannot do. That's the reality. And there are things that women can do that men cannot do. That's the reality. I for one, I have phobia for heights. Okay. Climbing anything. So what is it, even if it's my son that is 3, I can always say, "Oh, guy, come, we are the man here. Oh yeah, climb." That's beautiful. So we must respect the boundaries. We must respect the boundaries. So I come back again by saying that everything begins with us. If we all become feminists, what like Chimamanda says in her TED talk, and even in her essays, she said, we all should be feminists. What does she mean? We must promote equality in every single area we find ourselves in. Coming into the marriage, also, the man and the woman must find the balance for marriage to work. The man should not be bossy because God has not placed the woman or taken the ribs from the feet. The man should not be, I'm the boss of the house. No, sir. Even in a workplace, if you carry the boss attitude and enter there, your team members won't even cooperate with you, not to talk of the family. So that boss mentality is not working. We all have to be great leaders. Like even Jesus, who is our mentor. He carried everyone along. He raised them. He mentored them. He groomed them and prepared them for the work ahead. In spite of the fact that he was God. Okay, so for me, that is the African Christian feminism of which I'm one.
Okay, I have 2 questions here, but before we go into these questions, 2 questions sent to me right now. Let me ask you, she said creating balance, right? And I'm going to ask you, what is the balance for you? Because it is in line with this question. One says, I'm an advocate for women inclusiveness through empowerment and gender equality. Anything outside this, it's a no for me.
Is that from a man or woman? I want to know. Because these are the male feminists. Exactly. Yes, so, it sounds like male.
So what's
repeat that again? Let me get.
Okay, I asked the question. So what is the balance for you, right? And then I got a message. I do correlate to what I'm saying. I say I'm an advocate of women inclusiveness through empowerment and gender equality. That's to him. Or to her per se.
It's a him.
But now,
if you said male inclusive, it's likely to be him.
Okay.
It's a him.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Actually, him. I'm an advocate of women inclusive through empowerment and gender equality. But anything outside this is a no for me.
No, the poster there is right. Naturally there should be inclusivity. Both be a boy, a girl, male, female, man, woman.
To what point is the balance?
The point is that at the home, men, they should understand that as husband and wife, a man is the head at the home.
Hierarchy.
That is just it, whether you like it or not, at the home. But at the workplace, anybody who is more competent is the head at the workplace.
When you say the man is the head, I still need to understand what
exactly.
you mean. The man is the head. There's no contention over that. The man is the head. But what is your understanding of the head? And how will the woman relate to this head so that she won't be seen as a feminist?
Absolutely.
No, one will say the head. It's a very simple thing. The head in every organization or in any place, be it family, be it organization, be it workplace, means somebody who tells others what to do and how to do things. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
As a man, it is believed and it is assumed that you are more experienced. I mean, when it comes to husband and wife, for example, except maybe in some few cases where the woman is more exposed and more experienced than the man. But I'm saying in an ideal situation, and that is what it should. That is that ideal situation that women should be advised to build on. Take for example, you want to marry. It is believed that you should get married to somebody who knows more than you, who understands life more than you. Somebody must always be there to tell the other person what to do, because that person is either more exposed.
So is that a caveat for you to having?
That's what I mean by the head per se.
Okay, and I tend to disagree with you, sir.
Okay.
I tend to disagree with you. As much as God has made the man the head, all right, in the family, yes, the head. I said so that there will be hierarchy, so that we'll say, okay, this is the father, this is the head, this is the mother. The mother is also as important in decision making as the man. Wherever you see a woman revolting, the woman revolts where the man excludes her in decision making, because whatever the outcome of that decision will be will still come down on the family. I'm not saying take hook, line and sinker whatever the woman says, but I'm saying that the woman must have this sense of being a part of the decisions you make in your home. So the head is not the one who passes down instructions. No way.
Okay.
The difference you see in women is the moment they start feeling, oh, I'm just there, Oga is there dishing out, this is how I want to do it. I spoke recently with a young woman. This is a woman who worked in a bank for like 14 years, was working in the bank before she got married, and then worked in the bank for like 14 years and then got married. And then the man suddenly woke up one morning and said, I want you to stop work. And the woman keeps saying, why? What's your reason? It's not like you have all it takes financially to take care of this home. The man says, because I say so. I mean, for crying out loud, before I say so is not a reason. Before I say so, because I say so, it's not going to pay school fees.
Absolutely.
It's not going to pay house rent. Now, the issue got so bad, still because of our African culture, the woman had to report because it became a very serious issue. He kept reporting the woman everywhere. She's disrespectful, she's disobedient, she's not submissive. What is the issue? I asked her to stop work. And the family says, oh, if that's all you will do to bring peace, stop. She stopped the work. It's been 5 years now. Now, as we speak, that marriage has collapsed finally.
Wow.
And I told the woman, if you had told me, you would never have resigned from this job.
Wow.
Because there was nothing. It was just a battle of ego. Who is the boss here? The problem I have with women sometimes is that we also do not know how to present our issues. I, for one, have had issues with my husband because of the kind of work I do. I do so much. There's no jealous man that can marry me because of the kind of work I do.
Thumbs up to your husband.
No jealous man, no bossy man can marry me. That's the truth. You know, so I have a husband who understands that we are into a partnership. So let's sit down and talk. How do we do this? At the long run, he's my head. I respect his opinion, but he does not expect me to take everything hook, line, and sinker because he has said so. That's what feminism is talking about. Don't look at the woman as a piece of wood, as a piece of furniture that you just wake up and say, do this, and she does it. Do that, and she does it. Once, a woman told me last week, she was in my office. She said, okay, she lost her job, came back home, and started doing book business. She's selling books, and then she wanted to build a website, and a former colleague of hers said she was going to help too. And she told her husband, a colleague of mine is coming to the house to help me set up my website. I don't have money. He wants to come. And this man came to the house, sat down. Oga came in. Young man, so you actually came to my house. Please walk out. You're not welcome.
That's
to my room."
insecurity.
Why would you do that? The wife even told you. You had a discussion. Let me tell you. See, everyone wants to be respected. Everyone wants to feel like the human being they are. If you are having any issue in any aspect of your marriage, talk to your partner like a team member. Those of you where they do football,
Yeah.
you know what it means to score an own goal.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to score an own goal.
Absolutely true.
So when you begin to make the woman feel like a piece of property, you are scoring an own goal. The woman will definitely want to show you that she's also a woman. Kata kata will start.
Absolutely.
So we don't want that in our
So,
marriage.
Ms. Martins, we have virtually a few minutes to leave the show. But before we leave the show, I'm going to ask you some few questions. There's something you said regarding the stance you give, and I believe that people listening to us going to the same challenge, and I digress. For women in this kind of situation where there seems to be a discussion, but the man is not following or wants his own stand, right? We could say there's disparity now in terms of agreements and all that. What should a woman in this predicament do?
Okay. Proverbs chapter 14 verse 1. Remember, I'm a Christian feminist.
Yeah.
Proverbs chapter 14 verse 1 says that homes are built by the wisdom of women. A wise woman builds her home while the foolish pulls it down.
Yeah.
That is where the head is talking about
Very
now
true.
comes in.
Very true.
You're not going to create a tussle in your home because you want to prove a point. If at this point you've made your point, in communication parlance, there is something called assertion without aggression.
Exactly.
Assertion without aggression.
Very
You've
true.
said it. This is how. If you are called 10 years up again, you will still say, "This is what I said. This is how I want it." But you take your decisions. You are the head here. So there wouldn't be reason to fight. There won't be reason to quarrel. So the woman must also understand that in humility, you get what you want. If at the long run he's not taking what you said, fine, let him happen. A lot of men, unfortunately, some men, because I say from experience, I have a husband who understands what marriage relationship should be to the glory of God. But I'm saying that if the man does not understand you, let him go ahead, take the decision, hit the wall, come back, and then the next time such a situation arises, you will listen.
Okay. I'm gonna ask her. Is that okay for you?
Well,
would that come from your ego tomorrow?
No.
And then she wants to start taking this.
Let me say something,
My
please.
answer is no. Yes.
Let me say something, please. I think I agree with her to a very large extent, or to an extent rather.
Okay.
But I think I still have some. I'm not still very comfortable. Like when she talks about the issue of probably Miss Martins sees the headship of a man as an hierarchy thing. Okay, yes, you are just the head. Yes, yes, I'm next to you.
I'm the neck.
I'm next to you, and stuff like that. But it goes beyond that. And the fact that things need to be done the way they're supposed to be done, doesn't mean they should be abused. I don't believe in things being abused. I believe when it comes to a home, when it comes to a family, the right thing is that the man is not just the head based on hierarchy. The man is the head based on decisions. But we need to now sort out this type of decisions now. Some men abuse it. And the fact that this pocket of men abuse this opportunity or this privilege to take decision in a home doesn't mean men should not be denied that privilege to take decision.
Okay.
Because some men abuse it.
Okay.
Just like she
Exactly.
cites one example. For example, now she cites one example just now that she knows a friend or she knows somebody who was a banker for about 14 years. Then she got married maybe after a year or two or thereabout. The husband says, "No, I'm the head of the home. I have the right to tell you what to do and what not to do. Stop the work." Yes, you are the head. Yes, you are ready to take decision, but you are abusing it. Okay, look at it now. You don't have what it takes to run a home, and you are stopping somebody who has what it takes to run a home. But I believe when it comes to a man being a head, it has to do with when it comes to balancing, doing the proper thing. Because at the time we come where a decision needs to be taken, and somebody's decision needs to be taken at that point. That is where the grace of God in terms of new wisdom, knowledge needs to come in.
That's right.
Because at that point, if the grace of God comes upon the man, if the wisdom of God comes upon the man, I don't think the woman should say, because you are taking this decision in contrary to my own, my own should stand. I'm talking about in an ideal situation where the man is expected to take the right decision.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, the man just, if there's a clash of opinion or clash of decision, because he's the head, his son will stand.
That's exactly what I said.
Okay.
That's
His son will
what I
stand.
said.
Okay.
His son just has to stand because he's the head.
Okay. So we have a few minutes to leave the show now, but I have a question. Second question I was supposed to ask. It says, I think it's time to find an African solution to our African problems in terms of feminism here. So, what's your take on that in a few minutes? Maybe 1-2 minutes for.
You see, when it comes to African solution, it's very simple. In fact,
Because from this person, you get to understand that there's a distinction between African feminism
Exactly,
and Western feminism. So, what should be our solution here? Since Western feminism is not embedded in our culture.
you see, African feminism. Well, I don't know how to define it per se when it comes to African feminism. But what I believe is that when it comes to feminism in Africa, in a way, it has to do with women protecting the right of women in marriage. Let's reduce it to marriage, for example. Now,
Okay.
women protecting, and I believe it should be looked into in the sense that men should be made to have common sense when it comes to marriage.
That's another.
How?
That's
Yes, no.
Clarify that because
What I say common sense, I mean,
hang
men
on.
should be made to understand that when it comes to marriage, just like she was saying initially,
Yeah. Okay.
just like what she was saying initially, when in the table, you don't have to boss over your wife. Gone are the days where men, let me say in the 60s, 50s and above, that is where men are like gods, are like lords to their wives.
Okay.
Because in every aspect of life, those men that behave those are our forefathers. Them, let me say our grandfather. In some instances, our father could be part of this scenario. But let's say our grandfather and above to be more perfect in this explanation. They do everything that it takes to keep a home intact. 100%. They go to farm. It's as in women practically assist them in the little way they can. But not in these days where women go to hustle. Women go to business, women goes to work, women goes to do things. If you go to most families these days, women are the pillar.
That's right.
Women literally take care of the family, even including the man. Not that the man takes care of himself, the woman not take of herself and the children. No, they take care of everything, pay the bills. You now come and cross your leg and be forming a dogu over the woman. That is why I think that African feminism should come in to correct certain issues and make men. That's why I said from the beginning, men should have common sense. So instead of common sense, you cannot be providing for me and I'm telling you I'm your guy. I don't understand.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
You are thinking of me, I'm calling you your guy.
That's the
I should,
position you see now.
I should be quiet. In that is, I like to be balanced.
Apply wisdom.
I like to be balanced. I should be quiet because you are taking care of me. I cannot go. Even though I know I'm your guy in the sense that I'm the head, I should try and respect myself and say, look, oh, in this instance, Oga don't really follow. Because in this instance, you are indirectly the guy is not taking, but it's not something to be pronounced.
Exactly.
Because you are the one taking care of me. So I should just respect myself and do certain things, possibly that you are even expected to do.
Exactly.
I should be doing it. So things should be balanced.
Okay.
Because you cannot be, you cannot. There's a song that says, how do they put it? Organo before mouth or do something. As in, you be organo before mouth. You need to do something. And if you're not doing that thing, so if you're not doing what you're expected to do as the boss, then you should be quiet without your position as the boss and not use it to oppress maybe the woman.
This discussion is going to hold you, but I don't think the men are liking what you're ending right now with. But nevertheless,
No, the ones that have common sense will understand.
okay,
I'm
we have
glad.
1 minute to leave the show. But what do you think is the balance? I know this time for this discussion won't be enough to exhaust so much, but nevertheless, in constraint with time.
I'm very glad that both of us have come to almost the same page.
Okay.
You know, for me, the balance it has to start from the reorientation of our mindset.
Okay.
How are you raising your girl child and the male child? How are you raising them? Are you still creating those disparity? This job should be done by boys, this job should be done by girls. As much as the family is concerned, let's start with letting everybody have an open mind. If the boys can eat, they can also wash their plates. If they sleep on the bed, they should also make their bed. They should sweep their room and mop the room. If you can cross your leg in the sitting room, then you can mop the sitting room. This is not about gender. Let's start there. Our churches, our schools must preach this and promote this. A reorientation of our mindset is what is going to make this happen. That is how the balance will be created. But if we leave these young ones who will still eventually recycle what we've given them, then we have no headway whatsoever. Because we are already carrying on with what we learned from our fathers, and it's unfortunate. Once a man is made, it takes God to make the man.
All right, thank you so much. It's been nice time having you, Mrs. Martins, on the show
Thank
today.
you.
She's, of course, you know her very well, entrepreneur, and she's married and counseling as well. And today we're able to, not quite well, but we'll be able to nip it to the bud to a certain degree that yes, feminism, there's truly feminism. We will come to agree with that, but it needs to be balanced. So, and Mockingbird was able to give his light in that regard as well. So we're going to continue discussion, but not today, some other time. In other words, men, it's time to start changing the orientation. If you have this way that, yeah, I'm the head, it should be like that, it's time to start changing orientation. And when woman, you're the one providing or being in charge, that doesn't give you the leeway to step over everybody. Advocacy is good, but there should be a balance. Thank you so much from us here. We love you so much. We're going to see you in the next episode. God bless you.
Thank you.